Heretic is a recent film that I briefly considered watching in theaters. It seemed sort of interesting, and I learned that Mormons are really against this movie. It's actually about two young missionaries who are forced to prove their faith when they knock on the wrong door and are greeted by a diabolical Mr. Reed, played by Hugh Grant, becoming ensnared in his deadly game of cat and mouse. And the trailer was somewhat interesting. I was intrigued where it would go. But there's apparently a faction of Mormons in Utah who find this movie incredibly offensive because of its stigmatizing portrayal of Mormonism and specifically Mormon missionaries. They say it made its digital debut this week and it's receiving high praise from viewers at home. But Mormons are recommending the show The Chosen instead.
Makes sense.
The A24 movie centers on two young female missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, played by Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East, who visit the secluded home of Mr. Reed. He's on their list of potential converts, but when they begin their discussion about religion, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton soon realize that Mr. Reed has far more nefarious plans in store. This not only raises questions about the relevance of religion in modern times, but the two missionaries are also shown discussing or even engaging in risque topics like sex, porn, and contraception. I looked at the parents' guide, actually.
Okay.
There is no scene that shows them participating in those topics, just talking about them with him.
I saw the movie.
Oh,
What did you think? Did you like it?
No, I thought it was... the overall point of the movie was a very midwit take on religion as a whole. It was very, religion's just another way to control you and blah, blah, blah. It was a very teenage, angst, stupid, midwit, like I said, very midwit take on religion. If you're you don't have to be religious. I'm personally agnostic, but I don't have a negative view on religion. And if you boil religion down to, it's just a way that they can control you, you're a midwit. You really are. Religion is ubiquitous in human society. It doesn't matter where or when, no matter how far the societies are in time or in or how far societies are in space. Every human society has had religion, some kind of religion. Maybe it's not like the Abrahamic religions, but religion is ubiquitous to human beings. It is not as simple as just a means of control when it's something that is ubiquitous to human beings. So if you take if you believe that it is just someone telling you what to do, you're an angsty teenager and you should probably stop talking about religion.
Yeah, this seems like a movie that came out like 15 years too late. Maybe even 20 years too late.
Yeah, 15 years is probably an underguess.
Because that subject matter, as you said, it's just dated and
so
boring and overplayed.
Well, they could fix this in Hollywood by policing their own. Like whenever somebody's like, I got this great idea about a movie about religion, and then they give that pitch, and then everybody just laughs at them.
Yeah, that would actually really be good.
So this Utah-based publication that is published by a Mormon church argued that Heretic, at a time when a majority of people believe religious stereotypes need to be addressed by society, it joins a growing line of Hollywood vehicles that are dismissive of what believers find sacred.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Tonal issues.
Eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eat the cat.
Okay.
So this says, the Church of Latter-day Saints expresses concern regarding the movie's portrayal of violent treatment against women of faith, specifically. Most people of faith already feel their religion is mocked and ridiculed in pop culture. True. Then they want to see a more respectful representation of them in media. This says, like many Hollywood productions, this is a work of fiction not based on actual events, and it portrays the graphically violent treatment of women, including people of faith and those who provide volunteer service to their communities. Any narrative that promotes violence against women because of their faith or undermines the contributions of volunteers runs counter to the safety and well-being of our communities, Our commitment is to foster a culture of respect, empowerment, and safety for all individuals.
I want to point out that the complaints from the Mormon Church are lame as hell as well.
Why are they lame?
Because it is all just PC repetition of the thing. You know, they're saying PC things that are of little substance. The idea, well, it portrays these people bad, and it portrays the blah, 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 blah. It's a weak, lame protest, and they should have had. And I'm sure that I know that there are smart Mormons. They should have had someone smart actually write the reason, write a better reason
what
to
their
criticize.
reasoning was, why they're angry about it.
Well, it seems like the movie wasn't even particularly targeting Mormonism. It was targeting religion in general, from what you said.
Yes.
There's a 20 there from
specifically anything that's like an Abrahamic religion or adjacent to Christianity.
Yep.
Weary Traveler said, I used to be Mormon, and the Mormon church gets very anal about any depiction of missionaries that's not in their own produced media. We had a whole lecture about the BOM play in my ward when it came to my city.
Okay.
I don't know what play you're referring to.
There's another 20.
Incompetent Hands said Justified Season 1, Episode 4. Alan Ruck admits that it was the elf from Rudolph that made him want to become a dentist. To which Raylan shouts, you mean the little gay dude? Love Brett. Hey Mary, need a co-host with recognition. Sup Phil.
Something.
That is 110% true. That is 110% true, and I completely forgot about that. I just rewatched that episode recently where, like, he gets, like this patient comes in and abuses his, secretary. So he goes out and he pulls the fillings out of his mouth with the pliers in a car.
My theory about the dentist elf being an allegory for LGBT exclusion was confirmed.
Apparently, I completely forgot about that.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Their
BOM is Book of
criticisms
Mormon,
don't exactly make sense. They're kind of trying to make it about violence against women when really it's about dismissiveness of religion in general. And we see that played out in Hollywood so often.
And really, is there even a return on investment on these types of stories these days when the people who love to dunk on religion aren't necessarily going to watch these movies, even if they are of the intellectual level that would find this enjoyable?
I would be more likely to go watch this
Exactly.
movie.
And the ones that
Ironically.
don't, most other people are like, look, you're not going to give a fair take. You're going to, oh, look, there's a Catholic dude. He's the bad guy. Shocking. I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, being critical of religion is very, very, very overplayed. Like, it's just so weak, and it's such a bad narrative. Like, it's far more creative nowadays to come up with a way to lionize religion, even if you don't believe in the particular religion you're lionizing. Come up with a reason to explain why religion has been again ubiquitous throughout human history. Why, instead of sitting there just saying, oh, we're gonna go ahead and say, I'm an angsty teen, because that's the exact argument they always make is, oh, religion's just trying to keep you down. It's just
trying
the
to
man.
tell me what to do with my
and
pee-pee.
It's so exhaustingly boring. It is such an absolute yawn fest.
Yeah.
And if you're actually a creative writer, you wouldn't try to pass off a story that's been told 1.5 billion times that is literally equivalent to a teenager complaining that they have to go to school.
Not all of them are as blatant as this. Like Conclave, for instance, also came out this year. And I think the deviant message in a movie like that is harder to unearth. In that movie,
I mean, it was more layered and
yeah, we talked about this, I think, when you were out of town, but
I was out of town.
The premise of that movie is that they are trying to elect a new pope in the Catholic Church, and there's a lot of palace intrigue in the Vatican. Eventually you find out that they have elected a transgender pope.
Oh.
And that's the point of the movie. Or there was also Sydney Sweeney's movie Immaculate that came out earlier this year. I found that very subversive, and it's really just being subversive for the sake of it. In that movie, she conceives like I didn't watch it, but it sounds like from the descriptions of the movie, she conceives some kind of like demon baby or like antichrist.
Okay. Well.
And she's subjected to
I mean,
basically like torture by the church.
Religion in the horror genre is even more prevalent, and
Mm-hmm.
probably still more interesting to the people that are watching it because they're not there necessarily for the religious element as much as they are there for the horror element.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm glad that I didn't go to see this movie since you said it was so boring and a yawn fest.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't super boring. The acting was fine. The cinematography was fine. The way that the story progresses was okay, but the underlying point of the show or of the movie that religion's just a means of control. I wouldn't go see it again, but I wasn't like bummed that I went to see it, and I wasn't like sitting there like, God, I'm so bored. Da, da, da. There was enough.
That's Mary most of the time.
There was enough tension, and it is a kind of a horror movie, so there was enough tension and stuff where you're like, all right, so this is kind of interesting and stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, the whole argument at like when the big reveal at the end, when they get through the guy was kind of making like a riddle and trying to get the girls to figure out what he was talking about. Like when the big reveal is, you're just like, oh, so you're just saying that it's that you're mad at your dad.
Yeah.
That's the big relief.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.